Welcome, Mr. Corby. So glad you are here.
In the current state, it's not about an if things change. It's more about a question of when things change.
Why this conversation more urgent today than it was, 5 years ago?
Volatility is a new baseline. It's the small assumptions that kind of changes that can flip the best options.
Stop chasing the perfect answers. Start building decisions that can survive an imperfect world.
Absolutely. Perfect. Couldn't have said it better.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Motiveminds Unplugged, the show where we dig into the ideas that actually move businesses forward, not just the ones that look good into slide decks. I'm your host, Anju, and today we are going deep into something that most people often widely underestimate procurement and sourcing decisions. One bad supplier call, and you are not just having a bad quarter, maybe a bad era. To help us unpack all of this, I have with me someone who has built an entire company to solve this exact problem, Mr. Corbinian Sonthia, CEO of CONVIA. Welcome, Mr. Corby. So glad you are here.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
How are you, Corby?
I'm good today. How are you?
I'm also good, thank you. All right, Corby, let's start from the very beginning because I always love the origin of the story where that idea actually came from. Like Convia, how did you thought about it? Was it a light bulb moment, a bad meeting, or a terrible spreadsheet?
I think it's not always easy to say, and I think it's a combination of everything. I mean, of course, the story is the light bulb moment. Somebody came up with something. I mean, it's always good to tell, but I think it's more kind of a phase where you go through. And so, I mean, I've keep seeing certain patterns. Spent years working closely with procurement teams, seeing the challenges, and it was really about the quotes, right? It was more about aligning different stakeholders, decision making, and managing changes. And so at one point, I've been doing a project with a company, and I was part of a team building a small internal tool for a pretty similar thing that we are now trying to solve. And it was also on top of product sourcing. And so I've been starting talking to the experts of SAP that build product sourcing to find out if it's kind of a pattern, so that it's not just this company having this issue or trying to build something, coming up with a solution, or with also other companies in that area that are looking for something similar. And so it was quite clear right from the beginning that this is a blind spot that SAP has, and they know about it. And so they actually welcomed a partner, or they were looking for a partner to develop something that can kind of help solving or kind of getting rid of that blind spot. As an add-on solution for product sourcing. And so I was sitting down together with my team saying, okay, this could be a good opportunity. We were starting doing some concepts, trying to come up with an idea in terms of how to make it configurable, make it reusable. And so, yeah, this is how we all started. And then doing some concepts, doing the first developments, showing that to SAP, to the first customers, getting great feedback. And yeah, that's where it started. And now we're here.
I love that. So basically, the classic startup origin story, you mean to say. Someone built a little
Maybe.
spreadsheet in the corner, and before anyone realized what was happening, that spreadsheet became the most important document in the company, right?
That's all like this. I mean, it's a combination of spreadsheet and PowerPoint, but yeah, this is kind of what happened.
Right. No, so I was just asking that, it's generally what generally puzzles me is that, procurement teams are sharp and leaders are experienced. There's no shortage of tools or any type of data. Yet sourcing decisions still feel fragile. Why so? What's actually broken here?
Decisions are need to be taken across data that is in different tools, so that the entire systems are, or the entire tool landscape is pretty fragmented. And I mean, that's quite normal because there is not one tool that can solve everything. It's kind of more a best of breed approach, but it's how you can actually make it work, right? So it's how you actually use the information that's in the different systems, that you use them to do the assumptions in spreadsheets today, and in the future hopefully a little different, and then to combine that everything into one slide deck. And so when conditions change, to make the outcome visible, to make sure that you actually understand the logic behind it. So to understand why I took a decision back then, and what kind of assumptions did change now, and what do I need to reconstruct to actually make it work also today. And this is quite hard.
So, Bobby, let's talk something deeper into about Convia. Like, explain what CONVIA actually is. Think that I'm not a procurement person, and actually I'm not. So, from that perspective, can you explain me what actually CONVIA does?
CONVIA helps teams to choose the best supplier in a way that still makes sense later. So even after things change or if things change. But today I would even say it's not about a matter of if, it's more about a matter of when. So it helps to connect assumptions, to see different alternatives, to play with different scenarios. So based on the assumptions that I've been taking, so the decision makers can see the reasoning clearly in terms of why I'm doing it and why I'm going with this scenario, with this case that I'm going with, and to make sure that it is reproducible. Also, thanks to the process templates that we have. So to make sure that the assumptions and the logic is always staying the same across the entire company by using process templates and make it reproducible.
So, Kobe, but here's something I want to push on a little. Tools like this have been technically been possible, for a while. So, why this
Absolutely.
conversation more urgent today than it was, 5 years ago? What's changed now?
I think it pretty much started all 5 years ago because since then, since COVID, the market is just much more volatile as it used to be. So it's volatility is a new baseline, and that means that it's not as rarely happening as it used to be. It's quite normal today that prices shift, that supply chains change, that regulations change or evolve. I think one good example for that is kind of the tariffs that the US have. One day it's like this, the other day it's like this, and so it's the small assumptions that kind of changes that can flip the best options. And so
Mhm.
decisions must be more robust as they used to be, and not just for an optimal scenario, but for a more volatile world.
So, means procurement today is, you mean to say that it's less about finding the cheapest option and more about finding the most resilient option.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly. That's what it is. Yeah.
All right, let me go a level deeper on this to understand more. If a procurement leader is watching you right now, what's the one mindset shift you want them to walk away with?
I think it's about optimizing or stop optimizing for the best answer today and more start optimizing for a decision that still works when conditions change. And so to make it more robust, to not to aim for certainty, not answer to aim for certainty,
I
to,
like
to,
that
to live
because
with uncertainty.
yeah, because certainty is nice, but in supply chains, it's usually it's a temporary feeling.
Yes, absolutely. That's 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 nicely put. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'll ask you some quick questions. Not you don't have to think much about it. Just quick answers.
Okay.
Uh, what's the biggest procurement myth today?
That more data can actually means automatically better decisions. It's about how you make data work for you.
Right. Everybody is behind the data these days, data
Yeah.
procurement. Okay. So, one word that defines sourcing today.
I'd say uncertainty.
And can you define CONVIA in one line?
I mean, it's always a challenge, but I'll try. So I'd say it's about clarity and alignment for complex sourcing decisions.
That was really nice, Kobe, having some very genuine and eye opening answers, conversations. Thank you for making procurement feel less like a boardroom topic, more like a survival skill we all need today. The big takeaway: stop chasing the perfect answer, start building decisions that can survive an imperfect world. And if your process is still a spreadsheet, you know whom to talk, right, Kobe?
Absolutely.
That's a wrap on Motiveminds Unplugged. Share this if it sparks something in you. I will see you in the next episode of Motiveminds Unplugged. See you till then.
Bye. See you. Thanks for having me.